Greetings, we are the energies of Mercury, the planet Mercury. We are always bringing our knowledge to your planet. There is, yes, our position is in your solar system. The soul has, energies on your planet. Is where we are for a reason, because much of humanity wants us there. As humanity evolves into higher vibrations, we most likely change positions from the sun. We don't need to be there anymore. So we magnify a lot of our magnetic energy knowledge to your planet. We're basically a safety net for your Earth. Of course, Venus is also, but our knowledge, I mean, yes, Mercury has been a larger planet in its past, actually a giant, but we did our, we experienced what we had to experience. And now we have shifted our energies of basically assisting Earth in its growth. So we are behind the scenes, as you can say. It's not just protection, it's many. We're there when the Earth is ready for higher vibrational knowledge, basically. So just helping it along to figure itself out, with humanity, as it evolves out of the third dimension. Of course, it's been rough here. Of course, there's been many rough lessons that doesn't necessarily have to be experienced, but humanity decides to experience it anyway. So you're going into a transition slowly into the fourth dimension. Many of you probably feel that. Some of you will transition, others won't. But if you have questions, please try to begin. If anybody has a question. Well, please speak. Can't do anything.
Yes, I've got a question. And blessings, by the way. I'm sorry.
Blessings.
I was told that a good friend of mine, Leona, is a female that we are living parallel lives as we speak on Andromeda. Could you elaborate on that, like more? Are we like together, or what exactly are we doing? And how come I don't remember this and I remember this world more if we're living on both worlds at the same time?
Well, this world is more important at this time. You get trinkles of information, what is necessary. So you get what you need from, there are many parallel lifetimes where the two of you have a strong connection. But you're here to solve any of your problems here. So you're getting information, you're figuring out how to get yourself out of situations. You're healing through her energy. They can't give you the full, they can't give you everything. You have to figure things out as you're doing now. The other lifetimes will show up when they need to. When you feel like you're coming out of this test, or it can come to you at any time, actually. Your lifetimes with each other, but right now you're releasing, I feel, even guilt energies here, not towards her, but just decisions that were made in this lifetime. I feel like you're doing a lot of internal releasing, from what I can see.
Blessings.
What kind of density energy are you? Are you? I know you said higher density. Fourth.
We can go higher, but fourth at this time.
And you're known to be a messenger. Is there a particular message that you would have for humanity at this point in time?
There's many messages, of course. Well, humanity is not always, because I earn the information sometimes. Right now, just keep going forward and not care what others think on an individual basis.
What do you mean? What do you mean by earned?
Information earned? Well, it's just many don't want to hear anything usually.
Well, this is true.
Humanity. I mean, many just don't want to know anything about themselves. They want to just live in their bubble. That they have it all figured out in their corner of life.
So, as a planet, how are you affecting us day to day? Are you affecting more of our communication or different ways?
Well, we protect you from other planets, other beings. Of course, some might say we're doing a terrible job in that regard, but the beings that are here were asked to be here. The ones that are causing trouble, like one person here can ask that being to be here, and it ends up causing trouble for everybody else. There's a lot of that going on here. So our energies are, it's going to be not always fully explained, but we are working in the background for the Earth's ascension. I mean, basically, as the Earth truly moves into a higher vibration, the planets will move. It will change positions. So you can say we're waiting to change our position so we can affect the Earth even more. Right now, we're just mostly a protector.
But wouldn't that be like a catastrophic effect if you moved?
Yeah, right now, yes. But as the Earth goes into a higher vibration, it won't matter so much anymore. Yeah, you can say we're placed there by the Earth itself, by human consciousness. They needed us where we are for this version of Earth to exist.
So are you protecting us from what comes out of the sun portal?
Mostly alien invaders. It's mostly that. Some of it is sun invader. It's mostly just reptilian being. I mean, of course, you have enough as it is. And the world was technically capped and blocked down, sort of. But some people will still find a way of getting somebody in here. So there's always going to be there's always going to be portals opening up here with alien beings, even from beings from Mercury come here. Some of the Mercury beings are robotic. I think in Russia, some sightings of some robotic type of beings. So our planet is known to be higher dimensional, a little bit of everything, human and AI.
Kind of a another timeline than us.
Yes. Well, we have existed in our. We still have dimensions that are open where other versions of Mercury where beings do exist still there, and they can see your planet just fine, and they do visit it time to time. So a lot of obviously people see Venus as a romance energy, but also Mercury has that also here. It's where we do play a big role in the minerals on their planets. Your dirt, your atmosphere, a lot of your eco connections. A lot of it came from our planet.
So your beings were kind of like involved in putting our egos together.
Well,
how it works.
The trees and things of that kind. No, nature.
So
we're involved with that.
Nature. Go ahead, Bobby.
I got in a little bit late. I was just curious about, in Roman history, they would associate their gods with the planets, and so going to see if you've had incarnations on this planet or current incarnations, and how you're working with the planet, and how basically your relationship here with her.
Well, we do have a presence here, as you can say, with your government to a certain degree. You don't actually. I mean, we're pretty secretive about that, but we do have a presence here of us just guiding your world to a better tomorrow, I guess you can say. Not to destroy the Earth. So similar to like you've known, Arcturian beings are here to stop nuclear bombs, or other. We were involved with that also. So we do have an alien presence here, but it's very quiet overall. So.
And like say in the past when you had the Greek and Roman gods, do you have incarnations like that here?
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
Does it go by the book, or has history kind of misconstrued it a little?
Oh no, it's close enough. The Mercury gods, yes.
Hey, very cool. Thank you.
So, yes.
What about the caduceus, or yeah, isn't it a caduceus, the two-headed snake, the medical symbol
Yes.
that Mercury carried?
Mm-hmm.
What is the truth behind that? Because we hear all kinds of things about Kundalini and all kinds of interpretations. But why did the god Mercury really carry the caduceus?
Well, it is to unlock the DNA of the human. Basically, there's a lot of hidden within DNA. So it was mostly just DNA's potential, what we're going to bring to the earth. What was, at least at that time, a lot of it's being concealed, as you can see. But many of you know that you're an energy being. Basically, humans here are just energy beings at a very, like, sun beings, basically. You can get to that power, just power of the sun. Maybe not to that extent, but close to it. It just has all been shut down due to the human growth, of emotions. So humans shut them down because they feel like they shut themselves down because they feel like they're even, aliens have shut down humanity, but humans have shut themselves out. They felt they were too powerful at one time.
Well, I'm sure we participated in destroying ourselves in Atlantis.
Yes.
And a few times over. So when I go out into the sun, I really feel that energizing effect from the sun. Can you, and for my particular case, can you explain how the sun affects me more?
Well, because you're more keen to your abilities, you're connected more to your Kundalini energy. So that's why you kind of like absorb the sun's energy and turn into the sun. You can practically turn into a sun being. You can practically disappear. Of course, you're not here to disappear, but if the Earth's energy was different, you most likely could. You can shift dimensions very easily. So, yeah. Yeah, so you pull in the Earth's energy so you can shift realities, just like that. What I can see. I do feel like you can't heal yourself. I believe you have to on certain aspects.
Yeah, I can do for myself as a free will, but I couldn't do for my cat. So that just passed away. So that was very frustrating, and remembering that I could do that, but I can't do that now because that is closed down.
Yeah, well, the cat wasn't meant to. If it was meant to come back, it would have or survive. But it wasn't. I believe it was a cat's time, from what I can see.
Well, from what I understand, he took a hit for me, didn't he?
Yes. Correct. And that hit was probably so much that it would have been difficult to function here. I mean, yeah, if you're at a different vibration, if everyone is at a different vibration, the cat would have been healed, definitely. But it's not there yet. Because there's lessons we learn in this reality. So.
Go ahead, Bobby.
All right, thank you. I got a question. In astrology, Mercury is a planet known for communication. How does that work? How are you helping humans with their communication skills and enhancing them?
A lot of it is just for keeping humans alive, so they can discover. We're basically helping humans just have life here, and it's up to them how they communicate with each other. So we give them the means of communication any way they want. They've chosen the current means, but they can go further with telepathic abilities. So, yeah, you basically can be all magical beings if you want to, if they choose to. So.
Okay, and also keeping in astrology, the Mercury retrograde. What's going on with the energies there, and why is that? Kind of, I guess, revered in a sense. When it comes into season, affecting with people's emotions and technology. Can you explain like what's going on there in an energy state?
Well, it can stop time. You actually freeze it and descend you to a certain degree. So that's why technology is affected. Technology can actually go backwards. So you might not see it in your reality, but it's actually it's like a reset. So it's resetting you it's like pushing you back to an old timeline or a timeline that was missed, or it's there to freeze and do over. So many have the problems with technologies because it's turning it off, and then it'll activate it when the new timeline has come back in. So it's constantly looking for new energy new timelines to connect with. So it's just going through. Humans are very because humans aren't letting some fight it. They don't like the retrograde. They don't like what it brings into them. And if you flow with it, less likely it will cause you any trouble. Even with the technology, this person's connected to their technology. They don't. Technology is like their children to some degree. So they just don't like what they're going through. It's almost like a self-reflection of themselves.
So, like you would say, Mercury retrograde is like a precursor to timeline shifts. Then,
yeah.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah. It's almost like a freezing time and resetting, going to a new timeline. And some people like it, some people don't. It's like, I like where I was at, and it's like the universe saying it's time to change. For some people, not everyone.
And change is the only constant you can rely on.
Yeah, change is necessary.
It's inevitable, right?
Many are taught not to, allow change. So, religion hasn't really changed.
Right.
They don't like change.
Yeah, just stagnant energy.
Yes, it's almost old as your trees in some regards. Almost gotten so strong-minded it doesn't want to evolve.
Yeah, so I criticize it, saying that the laziness makes it very easy to disregard it because I make the joke they still call the New Testament new, so that's just a sign of the laziness and the stagnant energy there.
Yeah.
So
yes, there's a lot of that. Well, sometimes the Bible is updated, but not taken seriously. And some of those updates, it's almost like an insult to the old Bible.
Right. It's like sacrilegious to change it, add to it. You think it's done.
Yeah. Or how silly some of the stories were. And it's just old energies. Yeah, the churches have known that, but it's like an old bicycle. It's like they want to keep it going even if it's falling apart. I mean, you can say religion's all about money. Unfortunately, a lot of it is. It's about mind control, of course.
Yeah, control, right.
Yeah, they don't want to lose that. But they are. They're going to lose it even more, too. Their day is coming, eventually. Of course, that's been a long time coming, of course.
Yes, Mercury, this is kind of I don't know if this is normal or not, but you can pretty much, I have a small family. You can say now I only talk to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad has reptilian in him, and I just found that out. Mm-hmm. And my brother's girlfriend has reptilian in her, and she mind controls him. My sister's husband has reptilian in him, and he mind controls her. I mean, and then plus my ex-wife is reptilian, has reptilian in her, and her family. Is this normal? I mean, how many? That's a lot of reptilians, and
well, it's all on how it's used. But some souls want to step back and let others tell them what to do. It's like some want to be dominant. Now you can go against that domination, but many choose not to go through that. So it's all personal preference. So it's like in a relationship. I mean, many times it's like for one to be kind of like the boss of the relationship. That's where that reptilian side shows up the most. It all depends. I mean, you can have a very Andromedan relationship where everyone's equal, but the reptilian side, it's all about it's an inner learning that's not easy, as you know. I mean, some like the power, and some others like to give the power away. I mean, it's a mutual agreement in relationships. Not always, though, of course, as you know. But it is normal, yes.
Okay.
Look at your school systems.
Thank you. Blessings.
So, in my particular instance, I think my ex-husband was Anunnaki, and we are both A-type personalities. We kind of come in an agreement to help each other out, correct? To
Yes.
bring each other up.
Well, not always.
Well, in my particular instance, life got in the way, and it didn't happen that way. That free will choice came in, and it went down the wrong path. So how do you help us out in communication that way? Do you push us along when we need to communicate with each other?
Well, we bring communication. I mean, many on this world, you can say many don't. When you bring out your communication, your truth, it's not easy but necessary. So we're helping truth be brought out. And with truth coming through, we only bring it in through certain times when people are ready for that. So we help with trueness to come through. And that's where relationships fall apart, because some don't want to hear that truth. They don't want to adapt. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. Some just want to stay old-fashioned in a relationship. When you want to evolve and the other person doesn't want to evolve, of course you're going to break up with that person eventually, because they can stagnate. They can pull you back. That's probably the ending of most relationships. It's just one person within the relationship just doesn't want to do anything anymore. So, and the other does. But yes, we're basically to help you find your truth is where our vibration exists. When that person's ready for it, of course.
So when you were here on Earth, you played the messenger role between the gods and the Titans, or gods and humanity, or just whoever the gods told you? Okay.
All of it, yeah. Just basically messaging, communicate. Basically, messaging can be through wind, can be through water, because Mother Earth has a message also for everybody to be heard. So you don't have to necessarily be around that person to know what they're thinking. You can feel it. So that's where a lot of our energy exists, just with the vibration of a person.
So as Hazel points out, like I went outside the other night and I asked for truth. I wanted truth. And so, Hazel's asking, how does Mercury assist when we ask for the truth?
Well, you see if you can handle it first. That's why you might get a trickle of information, not the full thing. Because or that person that who you're trying to find that truth from isn't ready to reveal their own truth. So it can be a little bit complicated. You might be ready for it, but the other person's not ready to reveal it on a psychic level. Or you are given that truth and you don't believe it, which is very common. Like, yeah. That's all I have to say. Go ahead.
There was another messenger named Iris that was a god. Can you talk about her?
Well, that was more of the feminine energy. Mercury is more of the male energy for communication. That was more of the female, and that energy was very connected to Venus, assisting the Earth's ascension, of course.
Well, seeing how I have Venus ascending and I have irises all over my yard, can you tell me about the connection there?
Oh, yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. So you found a way to bring Venus closer to you. So yeah, flowers. Yeah, it makes sense. You ascend and you look at your environment. It's like I have ascension energies around me. So you're also clearing out your Venus, it seems too, so you can move forward. Because Venus can also block. There's always a blockage within your connections, but you're there to clear it out. Yeah,
How
you
can
want
Venus block?
it can become obsessed with itself. It can become stagnant, just like anything else. But some people get stuck in their attractiveness, for example, and rely on that and not evolve spiritual, not within. For example.
So if Venus is like in my first house, which is how I present myself to the world, it could be both an aid and a hindrance.
Well, you've gone more into yourself, a lot of clearing out your own insecurities. That's where Venus can help. And so you're allowing yourself to ascend. Many don't. Many just want to talk about their attractiveness and how they can affect others, but not willing to change themselves internally so things can work better for them. You know, the ego can be a major block. So it's like, especially those who've been very attractive when they're younger and they become 50 or 60, and if they're still, they're still stuck in their ways, and then they don't evolve internally. It's basically adapting to society and not worrying about the looks. Many are just holding on to the looks forever, but they deteriorate within. A lot of models go through that. A lot of models are just they focus on their looks, feel like that's going to answer everything, and it did. But then it's like a Trojan horse. It's like your looks are no longer there. What about you internally? All the things they could have done. They could have done something with their talents, gone further, but instead they relied on their looks. So that's why many choose not to have those looks. Yes, go ahead.
So, for instance, when you're leading a life of like truth or mostly truth and being a good person and living, to help the betterment of humanity. A lot of the times I'll get told that I look, 10 years younger than I actually am. So is that part of it, or is it okay?
Yeah, because you gain more peace to yourself. And you're not letting your looks bother you. You're not focusing on that. You're focusing on yourself. How you can better yourself. You just want to feel better inside. And, and of course you care about others too, but, you're focusing on who you are and how you can make your life easier, and others feel that. It's quite complicated, Dan. It's complicated, but it's not. Some make it complicated. I mean, almost like Venus is almost like the Venus flytrap, but they trap themselves. They're so obsessed of their internal self, they don't realize who they are. So yeah, they're very attractive people go their whole lives not knowing themselves. Life's easy ticket until they get older, and it becomes the hardest.
It's easy when you use your assets to get what you want. Yeah. And some people never get told no.
Correct.
And they get stuck.
Yep.
Go ahead, Michael.
I just want to say something real quick that's true with people that are smart when they're young or think they're smart.
Right.
In the real world,
Yeah, and they rely on that. They can evolve smart like. They cannot go further with it. They continue with that thing that's worked for them for so long, but then they can get stagnant with that too. Exactly. Well, I mean, like they go to a prestigious college and all that, but they're not really learning anything besides that. They are, but not as much as they could be. Like you're using your talents for others. I mean, they are probably to earn money, but are you going further with that, exploring science or whatever it might be that you might be interested in? Many just do what they need to do to survive, as you probably know. You just do what they have to do, and that's it. And they go on vacations and stuff like that. Right there. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just the soul can do so much more than it's used for. Of course, that's
Yes.
interesting. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mark. I was wanting to know if Erica has anything to tell me, or
Erica, who's that?
she was a girlfriend that passed away at our age, and she's connected with me.
Well, she's around you as an angelic energy, but she's not there to obsess over. I guess you kind of are obsessed over each other or something like that. But,
No, it's. I was told last time she's kind of like a spirit guide, and I can call on her. I just didn't know if she had any, messages or anything.
Well, it feels like she's just trying not to overstep her boundaries with you, but you make your own decisions. But she's helping you, figure things out slowly. So she's there in the background, but she's giving you hints of what direction to go into. She's trying to show you too much, but she is protecting you and helping you through certain situations, bringing the right people to you every now and then. So she says you're doing a lot of self-forgiveness at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're just working on bringing a lighter vibration towards yourself. It is in process. You are working on your talents on a spiritual level.
That's good. Has my psychic abilities have been growing more in the last?
Yes. Your senses have. It might not be drastically because you're still removing a lot of blockages, but yes, you are going in a positive direction.
Okay, thank you. Blessings.
I have a question about. I assume that you have like higher dimensional civilizations on your planet.
Yes.
I was curious to know what life is like there, and when our planet ascends, are we going to have interaction with your civilizations?
It is. Our world is pretty much similar to our conversations. Like even worlds we just have a higher knowing, but we realize that too much knowledge can always also be the death of us also. Like, you get all this information and you become arrogant with it. You don't grow with it. You don't expand. So we're very careful on, taking everything what we have and being thankful for it and exploring the knowledge that's brought to us. So we're always there, wishing to grow. So we do have civilizations. I mean, for us to be in our position, of course, our planet looks like you can't visit it. I mean, in the higher dimensions we exist. But the third dimension, we're just, the planet is what it is. It's not exactly habitable. Most are, obviously. But in the higher dimensions, it's mostly a peaceful Earth. We do work with reptilians to heal their energy that come to your planet and cause difficulty. We are like a neutral world. So they can come to us if they have like trying to manipulate your world, or some beings feel offended by your planet because some humans aren't giving them a lot of attention. So we're almost like therapists for aliens in some way.
Do you have any known alien civilizations that we know of at this moment, like Arcturians that visit or that live there?
Oh, that like aliens that live on our planet that are
that we know of at this moment.
Yeah, there are Pleiadians and Syrians that do reside on our world. I mean, it's mostly reptilians that come to our planet because they're the ones that feel like they're the ones that are the most lost. We do have insectoid beings that visit every now and then, but it seems like the reptilian is the one that is trying to figure themselves out. So a lot of them are opening themselves up to us, you can say.
So you'd say you guys are more fourth, fifth dimensional civilization there. Okay.
Yes, correct.
All right, very cool. Thank you.
And what is it about your planet that helps them heal? Why do they head to you?
I'm guessing we're neutral enough where they don't feel like they're going to offend everybody when they show up. Or make everybody angry or pull out the weapons and blow in the next universe. Not that other planets do that. It's just our planet is kind of, it's such a neutral energy. There's nothing there to take over. It's just there to relax. Figure yourself out. We're not there to, use our planet against them or anything like that.
You're the sun vacation.
Yeah, it's just like on a spiritual level, they feel like they can open themselves up. It's like going to a therapist. It's like they'll understand me, even if I got obsession problems or something like that, which many of them do actually.
We were talking with I don't know what being who is saying. I think it was Lucifer actually, who is saying that Earth's future is to do some of that, where we'll take mass murderers, talent destroyers, or whatever. We'll take all we've been through hell, so we'll take people that or beings or spirits that are quite broken and go, well, that's okay. You can live here, no problem. But that's our future apparently.
Well, it's happening now. You could say you brought them all here to equalize the energy to allow more of that to be known here on a psychic level. I mean, more like what kind of refugees are incarnated here? I mean, like a soul incarnate here. Where did it come from? And that's basically what your society is going to eventually look into, learn from it, because then younger generations will do that too. As new children come in, you start to figure. So instead of all these wars and all this nonsense that are happening right now, they'll look at this. Probably see it as now as pretty primitive. It's growth that needs to grow up, and there's major growing pains the Earth is going through at this time. But yeah, you understand more of each other. It's just basically knowing your origins is really what society would be about. You're working on it. It's been working on it for some time. But some don't want to.
They don't want to know. But we come into this world and we've forgotten everything. So it's kind of slowly relearning who we are. But we do that, you're talking about people using their looks. We all, we choose different things to kind of guide our lives by here and there, and we'll take, this is important to me, I'll use that. This is important to me, I'll use the other thing. So there's not really a right way or right path for us to arrive at being more complete, which is why I think, murderers and psychopaths and stuff like that can kind of get a little, here it's like, well, I'm using my looks, you're using killing people. It seems to be, I mean, at the end of it, it's just one more aspect of who we are.
Well, it had a lot to do with so humanity forgot about where it came from and forgot everything, shut itself down from the universe. So by doing so, allow the murderers and the corruption to take over, to keep that veil going. Of course, you're going to have criminals in the White House and everywhere, in government and cartels. As long as the amnesia is there, humanity is like, I want to know more. I want this amnesia to come, and you're doing that now. You've been doing it for some time. And you can say during the ancient Greeks, they wanted to know more about themselves, and they got conquered. That was the end of that. So, but you're in a time of remembering. It's all about remembrance now. It's not an easy remembrance, because, as you understand it's like, does that fit this timeline? So it's going to be a slow awakening, because, when you start knowing about yourself, it changes you. And, so the slower you do it, the better, because you gradually become, if you have it instantly, you just, all of a sudden you like the color blue or something, and you want to move to, jump into the ocean, live in the ocean or something like that. Maybe live by the ocean first before you live in it. Some people remember there used to be a fish or a sun being in their past life, or a pink flamingo. you know, if you start remembering all these crazy things all at once, it becomes a little bit much. So, yeah. So just there's the amnesia made the world the way it is. So forgetting brought in the criminals, basically. Now you can do that on another world, not yours, where you can forget and not have all this chaos. But this world allowed all the chaos.
Nice.
Well, you're here to heal that chaos now.
Yeah, well, it's good for us, but a break would be nice.
You're working towards it. Yes.
I have a question about communication, going back to that, and communication with the higher self. I was looking to see if maybe you can give some advice on that, maybe general advice, because I think it's different for everybody, you know, connecting with their higher self.
Well, your higher self you almost gave the boot to, it feels like. That instantly came in.
Yeah, we're having some friction. I mean, we have communication, but I guess in our own kind of unique way, but it is, like I said, it's unique for everybody how their relationship with their higher selves. A lot of people blame their higher selves. A lot of people are eager to work with their higher selves. In some cases, give their power away to their higher selves. So it's a weird kind of dynamic here relationship, and it causes confusion in people to be apprehensive from making that leap. Is there any way to kind of make peace and, you know, open up the lines of communication and a healthier relationship with the higher self?
Well, if you don't want to get rid of your higher self and remain with it, I mean, your higher self will still be around you if you do fire, even like it's fire your guides. They're still around, just that their role, the main role, is no longer working for you. And you're also sending a message to them too that they're not, you know, they're just not aligned with your reality. So alignment with your reality really matters. It's like, so if we'll use your higher self for example of basically it's how can we work this out, and your higher self isn't exactly being the most talkative. It's not exactly expressing itself as it could. It's holding things back is what I see.
Now, is it because I came here with the intention to bring in another timeline, and my higher self was working towards that timeline? Because I know some people here are from other timelines, in a sense, where they feel a little out of place with no direction. I have a good sense of direction because I've made that conscious kind of sovereign decision to take my own path into my own hands. But yeah, I think that maybe my higher self had other intentions come there, and we're not seeing eye to eye.
Well, the reason is that I feel like your higher self is used to a certain ego of yours that I don't believe you have or ever had, but a certain type of vibration from a kind of like a selfless or selfish ego. It's looking for an ego energy to grab onto. So to be empowered over others, it's still part of that kind of taking over society energy. It needs to be healed, is what I see. And you have been healing it. It's just not an easy one to heal.
Yeah, it's a sign of a mystery to me. I believe I had an interaction with my higher self as a child that came in as a shadow being. Yep. Is that the same one?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. It's like what I get from it is like, yeah, we can take over this planet. So it's one that is being tamed. It's a lot of wounds in that higher self, from what I can say.
Do you see the, us being able to have a relationship going forward? Because I'm kind of playing with the idea, but I've never, consciously fired a guide or thought about firing a higher self before. I don't want to take it to that point because, we came here on a contract, so I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing work.
Yeah, it has a warmongering side of it. That part of you is not seeing it because you moved on from that. So that's why you're not seeing eye to eye. So healing that warmongering side of it, just to help it release that side, that's where, because it's like a patient right now. It's kind of like laying down in a hospital bed. It's like, I remember when we can, go into the minds of others and control them.
That's what I see with it. Babylon priest kind of lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it was instantly finding the vulnerabilities among people.
And see, I kind of have traces of that when I'm reading people's mannerisms,
Right.
body language, but I don't use that to my advantage. I use that to kind of be able to predict, to keep myself safe.
Yeah, so it was a very powerful energy that we use for negativity in your past lives. So you're healing kind of like a darkness within yourself through your higher self. The darkness within your higher self is what you're healing. And it's major.
Right.
It's very major. So that's why it's taking so long.
It feels like a major magnetic, clash between my ego and my higher self, and I'm like caught in the middle.
Well, that's why, so when someone was trying to heal your energy and they saw your ego, that's your higher self holding on to that major ego. It wasn't your ego. It was the ego that, like, of a past version of you. Or a warmongering ego. That's what it's looking for. And you chose to heal that.
Yeah. Well, I see the benefit of having that energy because it doesn't allow me to be bullied or pushed around.
Right.
It's allow me to stand my ground. But it also needs to be healed because I could feel the aggression and like the graphicness that kind of my imagination where it can go into these dark places. So it's just a constant, you're going back and forth. I want to call it a battle or a struggle. It's just is what it is.
It had the ability of finding the weaknesses of others and it heightened your abilities to defeat them. So that's why your abilities are heightened at a certain level. It's used for negativity, and now you're using it for good. And so your higher self is adjusting to that still. So it is allowing it. You were allowing. That's why you're not firing it. No, because it's like a wounded side of yourself. You don't want to fire it. You want to.
What is that going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I could understand the frustration, but I've come to the conclusion about the war going on here for the soul. It seems so hypocritical when I see both sides, reflecting each other. I don't see any difference between the two. More similarities than differences, when it comes down to their thought process and decision making. And I feel like I'm just getting played by both sides at times, and I just decided to not fight for either side, but to not to win the war, but to end the war and to break the cycle, those old patterns and the behavior that I was used to.
That's what's happening right now. Yes.
Yeah.
And even the spiritual community is going through a breakdown. As some of you probably see major spiritual people, connected to aliens, and they're kind of manipulating to it. Some are, not all, but some are, because they're building themselves up, for a career, and so they continue in that career path. But they're not allowing new energy. They allow certain new energy as long as it helps them in their career. But what about the spiritual path? Are they allowing the true truth to come through? And many are blocking that. So
that's where I'm asking my higher self to open up, to let the information come through, but it's blocking me.
Yeah, because you'll change your life completely, it feels. So it's slowly giving you information. I see a lot of mantis energy you've been connected to in your past. You've also been like a very powerful being in your past, be able to fly, be able to send sunbursts from your hands. You probably feel some of that. So
yeah, there feels like there was a life on Atlantis, like a magician.
Yes.
A white magician on Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that?
What I see is that your eyes will light up and you have like a fire energy around you. You'll be able to fly and open up realities, dimensions, even power crystals. Basically, it's protecting Atlantis, and Atlantis is basically powerful beings overall, like super beings. And some did live in the ocean eventually when it fell. But it's basically just very powerful beings that were in your lifetime. Let's see. I believe a lot of your energies went into the crystals of Atlantis. So if there's any crystal energies that you're connected to, I believe some of your energy is there. If I can see that.
Okay.
Blessings.
And Blessings. Thank you. And how do I get my higher self to trust me, to open up more to that knowledge? My DNA is not active. There's nothing that I can do. So how do I get it to open up, to let me know more about? Because I feel like sometimes you got to take on the past in order to heal for the future.
Well, it feels like you have, the way it looks at it, that you have enough right now. But because you're sometimes seeing too far into the future where your powers are fully activated, and it's hesitant to allow that to occur. I mean, you can do it through downloads of seeing yourself, but I feel like you're working on a lot of third dimensional situations. Yeah, they're helping. It feels like this reality, there's some hurdles you still have to figure out for that will fully activate. But you are getting there, from what I can see. You might not be at your full power, but you're getting to a certain level.
Thank you.
Mercury, this question's from my mom. She does have a little bit of medical problems, and she's 70 years old, and she moves around like she's 50. But anyway, she was wanting to know if she could go back to work, and if she did, what would be the best kind of work for her. She's like a humanitarian. Like, she used to be a nurse for a long time, but I don't know if she could do that, or what do you see?
Well, I mean, of course, we feel like volunteer work, but of course that doesn't pay anything. But where she's not on her feet so much, but of course she might want to be on her feet all the time. But it's up to her medical field, wherever she needs to figure that out for herself. I mean, we can, it feels like volunteer work is one way to figure out what she needs to do. She can also find jobs for that, possibly. So I just feel like just giving her energies to others seems to be the way to go right now. To share her vibration with others. She can help people feel better about themselves. I mean, working with children is a possibility too.
Okay.
Up to her, like a camp or something like that, or I mean, it feels like an arts or crafts or something like that she could do with younger people. It's up to her which ones to do.
And do you know her guides? Does she have any ET guides, or just ones that lived on Earth in the past?
Well, I feel like a lot of Palladian energies are around her. But there's 3 Palladians that are assisting her. Not really giving a name at this time. She has Mother Mary assisting her also. More of her feminine vibrations. Basically, I mean, yeah, the more that people she can connect with, she just needs to connect to some kind of community. Maybe find a paying job. With that, she'll have to explore that. That's why people would go to churches, but I don't think that's something she wants to do. But just find some community that she can connect with and explore in that way.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
We were talking about higher selves, and I had just channeled my higher self Ivan a while ago. Am I in conflict with mine? I don't think so, but
no, I don't believe so. You're in conflict with this reality, this dimension of manifesting. Some things aren't manifesting as you thought it would. So I feel like that's a part of that you'll overcome, it seems. Well, you're manifesting it just I want this word reality to be different. Well, yeah, it's not manifesting as fast as you'd like it to. So you are connected to parallel Earths, a parallel world, an Earth, several parallel Earths that are a lot more positive than this one. So while you live in the area that you do, I believe you can say Canada, that's right. And so you can focus on those other parallel realities and bring them here. Less violence, more love, more free love. You can't always go wrong with that, right? I guess you could. This will find a way to go. But
this will find a way, yeah.
The more free love, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah, and so you're connected to many, actually very advanced realities that have overcome all these problems this Earth has. This Earth just keeps doing the same problems over and over again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, yeah, and getting better at it.
Well, that's why you're here. That's why many of you are here to help it jump the hump where it's been spinning out of control. Many are here for that. Not everyone, of course.
Yeah, this is a special group. I really like it. And we don't know how, as humans, we don't know what we're really doing. We think we're going on with our regular lives, which we are, and which is good. But we're not aware of, what battles we're fighting, or.
Well, also you leave this group and others, of course, leave the ego to the side, and that's not easy to do for some.
Yeah.
So why do you think certain spiritual groups attract? Because they have the same ego energy, especially when they think they're better than everyone. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, when they have the secret and
Yes, secret of looks of success. Yeah, looks until the looks are no longer there. Then what do you do? Well, we don't think about that until it happens. So we avoid that subject matter. And that's what a spiritual teacher that has a large following has been using that person's looks to attract this audience. And then when that's kind of a touchy subject. What happens when your looks are no longer there? Why can you be so negative towards me?
Well, that's part of growing up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reality, reality bites. So you're basically bringing in these new vibrations, so you don't have to relearn a lot of these lessons anymore. That's what many of you are here for.
And just in terms of physically how that happens, the fact that we've incarnated here, so we're actually humans in this world with an actual body, and so that gives us like a stronger presence here in order to let these things come and pass to us, because this is our world. Is that how it works? It's like, because I'm human, I'm able to have a greater impact on this world than, say, a tall white that happens to step in and kind of go.
Yeah, if you're an alien, because you have incarnation here, so this is your home planet basically for right now. So it's like this is your house, so you can do whatever you want with it. And technically, you could, to a certain extent. They might not put you on the White House lawn, or you can fly around a 747. Well, of course, I guess you can if you do all the training. But you can pretty much do what other aliens can't do. I mean, even an alien being can have all this advanced. That's why some aliens give technologies to the human race so they can become like a member of the planet in that way. But that only works so long. It doesn't really give you incarnating here is really where it's at. But many aliens don't want to go through what humans are going through. Or just a lot.
Because once you're here, you're stuck.
I mean, it is a crowning achievement to have a lifetime here. It's just not seen that way. I mean, there's just a lot you can do. I mean, maybe you feel like you can't do a lot physically here, but there is a lot. This is a big deal being here.
Yeah.
But if you pass your teen years, that's even, wow, you survived your teen years. That's saying something.
Well, I oscillate between feeling sometimes, we're incredibly respected and like going through hell in order to better the world, the universe, and then other times going, well, we're these little stuck little babies in this world that's like doesn't respond to how we want it and whatever. So it's like those two those two bits,
Well,
which is kind of frustrating sometimes.
there's different. Yes, is the spoiled planet, with the spoiled humans that just don't want to ascend or grow, don't want to experience their talents, want to just sit in the sandbox and with the same energy. So, and yeah, there's going to be different perspectives. A lot of beings are jealous of humanity, so there's a lot of jealousy of humans going through all this. You know, even if you don't go through all the tests, just going through, it's a rough ride here, as you know, no matter who you are, really.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're a wealthy, like, billionaire, it's like, do they have any friends? Or is it just all fake friends? Which is very common. Hard at the top. I guess you can buy a lot of, as long as you keep paying off your friends, they'll be your real friends, I guess.
It's something I think is very
Is it
hard
kind of
to-
like how?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like how people are jealous of successful people?
Yes. Oh yeah, like aliens are upset. Yeah, jealous of your planet. Yeah. Of course, humans. You're jealous of aliens, right? You get to fly around spaceships and smell better, and
Oh, no kidding. I want to fly around in spaceships and be able to create what I want just by snapping my fingers.
well, you're bringing that knowledge here for humans to experience that here. It's just humans are at a certain level of evolution, but it's like the 4th grade when all the aliens are at the 12th grade. So, and yes, this world has been held back a lot. It goes back a lot. No. Yes.
Is that why those in power are the ones that consider themselves, among the smartest, are trying to block this new information and disclosure from coming through because that'll make them just like everyone else? Then,
yes, they're doing all this to keep themselves at a supposedly higher vibration, or it's all about for them it's ego.
They're intentionally stopping their own evolution just by keeping their position.
That happens a lot, even in spiritual communities. It happens there too.
Right.
Yeah, if that's what you're talking. Yeah, spiritual communities are doing it all the time. Those that have a large following, they can evolve and really open new doors and really freak a lot of people out with all the strangeness and stuff as well. But
it just seems they're just delaying the ascension, just trying to make a career out of it instead.
Well, it will find a way. It will find a way to. Evolution finds a way.
Right.
So those that are going into raw information, doing the best you can. Nobody's perfect, but it will get your attention, and they'll make you want to continue it. You have to be able to. When you bring in raw information, you're used to everyone throwing knives at energy at you. It's like, oh, we don't like hearing that. But when you get used to it more, when you get a higher attention, you can handle it at a better level.
Now, when you say raw information, I know you mean raw, unfiltered information, but I'm also hearing raw information as well in my head. It is like the collective of raw, yeah. Yeah,
there's some of that. Raw is raw. I mean, raw is raw himself to a certain extent, but yeah. I mean,
would you be able to explain his connection with the Arcturians?
One time he was like the leader of them, well, a group of them, and he was basically part of the Earth's ascension in its early times of growth. He wanted to be part of the Egyptian vibrations to assist Earth in connecting to the sun and realizing the knowledge of the sun. Everything's in the sun. Everything's in yourself, but a lot of it's in the sun also. As you connect more to the sun, you know more about yourself. So, yeah, Ra is all different types of energies. He's snarky, but also friendly. He's a little bit of everything, as you probably know.
Yeah. I'm curious to dig into that. My connection with the Ra collective.
Ra is similar to the ISIS information. Things with the female and the ISIS. Some of the females can have the information just for themselves, and usually the raw information they just rather put it out there for everyone. So, it all depends. All depends on the person.
Now, when Ra was here, he was able to create, with thought forms, instant manifestation, correct?
Yes.
And he did such with the pyramids as well?
Yes, but he had help. But yes.
With the Hathors?
Yes.
All right, very cool. All right, thank you for.
It was the Hathors, Arcturians. There's other beings involved. Andromedans. Yeah. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Mercury. Oh, sorry, if you want to go ahead.
Please. Go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to. I have a friend, Leonie, and she meditates, and she's ascending to the fourth dimension. But she's wanting to know who her galactic family is. And I told her to meditate on it, but do you have anything that you can give to me to tell her?
Well, there's an Andromedan energy. There are angels from Andromeda. She's very connected to. There is canines from Sirius. She's very connected to also. So we'll keep it broad. She's also connected to the planet Pluto.
Okay.
I'm not sure how she feels about Pluto. Pluto has a little bit of everything. Pluto is about unlocking knowledge. It has not fully unleashed itself on your planet yet.
So she's lived a lot of ET life.
Oh yes, everybody has. Yes,
everybody has. Okay, yeah.
Everyone here has to some extent. I mean, maybe not everyone's been through a lot of hellish timelines, but many of you, everyone here has had, trillions of lifetimes somewhere.
And that's another question you just answered for me. Trillions of lifetimes. We all
Trillions.
have. That's like, wow.
I mean, this lifetime on this world might feel like a million lifetimes in one, because it probably is. Depending on the stress level, yeah, you probably tested to your brink. Many are. So, yeah, you just added another 100 years to yourself. Well, it would be like one lifetime, on another world, it'd be like probably one lifetime. On this world, with all the stress, you just add 100 years, 100 years, 100 years to yourself. Someday. Or 1,000 years in one day, depending on the stress levels. Think about being a president. Of course, a president of the United States there's a lot of manipulation going on. Some of that's manufactured problems too. So, let's put it this way: your everyday person goes through a lot more than a president would ever go through. It's like a pampered king for 4 years. But your average person, that's the real test. Being a president, not so big deal. Being a regular person, that's harder. As you probably know.
So Hazel has a question about the beetle energy and Ra. And I was seeing a video that was talking about that the beetle itself is made up of Liberian glass. Mm-hmm. And that Liberian glass came from a comet that the Palladians brought in. Can you speak to that?
Yes, there's also a lot of gold energy that comes with it too. A lot of beings brought gold here from other places. So a lot of insect beings died here and manifested gold. So yes, the Palladian energy, that's that connection, but yes, a lot of insect beings brought a lot of knowledge from all different solar, space systems, solar systems here. So yes, that was one of them.
Why would an alien bring gold? Wasn't it already here?
Not necessarily. They can change the vibration of it. It's basically their energy can turn to gold here. So not necessarily that we're gold when they came here, but when their energy shifted here, they became gold. It's just the atmosphere that they're connected to here. So, yeah, a lot of insect beings died here and became different parts of life here. So.
Okay, like in connection with the Anunnaki?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anunnaki and the gold is like a drama story. There's, it's something that has to be healed here because gold is, from what we see, is not very significant. I mean, they have gold on their own planets. They don't necessarily need it from here. So it's just another way to teach humans, to help the human figure themselves out here. So they use gold as a reason to, for human growth here. So, well, they treated like gold more important than humans, and that became part of society eventually. Fortunately, but something they humanity needed to go through, their self-worth. So that's what humans are learning now. Also, is the self-worth. It's very difficult. So.
Hi, Mercury. So I wanted to touch on some dreams that I've been having lately. They've been extremely vivid, and I wanted to know if they were dreams of another lifetime or multiple lifetimes, or is it more cryptic than that?
Other lifetimes. It feels like lifetimes are having difficulty releasing. It feels like lifetimes where you had a lot of power, and it feels like some individuals kind of turns against you. Also, so it's relationship energies that you're healing on this reality. So you're still dealing with those relationships, it seems. It's like a tangled web that you're healing, from my perspective.
So one of the dreams there, it's a water-faring kind of community where I'm on the water, and it seems pretty like advanced. Is this from like a completely different world, or is this?
Yes,
Okay.
It's like a fairy reality. Yes. Mm-hmm. Less dense. Yes, part of you wants to go home. Well, I can see.
Well, that's not gonna happen. Okay, thank you.
Or you're bringing that energy here. So yeah, you're healing the Earth's soul, the inner Earth. Yeah.
There also seems to be like, I don't want to say that it's games because it's worse than that. It's not necessarily like games, but sometimes I'm trapped, or I'm almost also like a spy in a weird way, or a scientist. Is there anything about that?
A scientist in your dreams?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you've been.
Like I'm spying. Where like I'm always constantly talking to somebody else about what's going on, and it's like natural medicine. I even was poisoned, I believe.
Yes. Well, probably because you're. The reason why you're spying is, I believe, it has to do with that someone was out to get you. So you're trying to figure out who that was. And obviously, I don't feel like you figured. Well, I think you might have figured it out once you got poisoned. But I believe by then it was too late. It has to do with knowledge that you're pulling out, information that you're digging into. It was very important, very rare. It was very sacred. And someone wanted to sabotage it from what it feels.
Yeah, like I'm always also hiding something. Like a golden sphere. It's really interesting. Okay.
So even now you're doing that. We're doing it on a different level. We are still you're still living in that world technically. You're just not, going too deep on a personal level. At least, or people are trying to poison you that way.
Yeah, it can get pretty intense. Yeah.
And yeah, you're just careful of who you tell what you're doing. And you're just careful about that now.
Right. Is there a way I can kind of connect with this without dreams? Like if I meditate?
Yeah, meditate on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hi, Mercury.
Yes.
How's it going?
Doing well.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Yes, it's like we spoke yesterday. Yes.
Yes. So, I just want to know. I have an interesting situation with my job now where I work, and cybersecurity, and just looking at like different interesting things that are going on in the political sphere that affects my job, kind of with supporting the government. And I'm just wondering if you have any messages about that versus me, because I just also joined the reserves, and I'm really concerned with the direction things are going, whether or not I should do a less active role in that regard.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, what you feel comfortable with, but I feel like just go with it. See where all this is going. I mean,
Yeah.
and yeah, I would definitely keep your political ideas to yourself.
Yeah, I try to, unless
many are not happy with the way things are going, but because it feels like because you want to create new friends. It feels like and get more of the insight of what's going on, and that's really what you're there for.
Yeah.
So, and to heal it and not judge as much as you like to.
Yeah, I try to be very, very neutral.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
talk
only
about
talk
testing
about
yourself.
things if I know like people are open to it, and then I see that like maybe people are a little triggered or aggravated about a certain thing, like whatever it is, I back off.
Yeah.
I don't want to create any.
Well, you can go deep more than most people want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much start your own political movement practically.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. It's just, yeah, you test people's comfort zones, so that's certain. But I feel like, yeah, just keep on the direction, because it feels like you are going to meet new people, new friends, and get more of an insight of really, the government movements. But we're not sure what that's going to happen. But.
Right. So I was just wondering if you had any messages or suggestions for me, and if I'm just also wondering who has been around me, like alien wise and guides wise. I've also been having some physical problems, so I would like to kind of call on them if they can help me too with my physical problems and my motivations, because I think my neurotransmitters are like off.
Well, it has to do with age too.
Yeah.
So you're going through an age shift. And that has a lot to do with your everything everything's haywire right now.
Yeah.
And it has to do with your food that you consume too. You can change that to some degree.
Yeah, so they help you.
The Archangel Michael is around you, and Arcturian vibrations. You're also releasing past life karma currently. And that's there to, be careful what you say around people.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and this is a test on yourself too, if you can stay covert.
Yeah.
That's a major test, but it's beneficial. Yes.
I have a question. Last question. What energy do you see around some of these vaccines? Like, for example, like I'm not trying to take the Moderna vaccine because it's been made by Bill Gates' company, but I don't think Pfizer's like that much better, and I want to avoid it altogether. And luckily, we're in a downturn, and I just worried about any future pressure that I might have to get vaccinated so I can travel. Luckily, I live in a state where they're not doing vaccine passport, but that doesn't mean other countries or whatever won't require it.
Well, a lot of this will blow over next year. Okay. So the passports will become this. If you can hold out for a while, that's recommended.
Okay.
So I'll move on to something. Notice how they moved from the virus to the vaccine. The virus is still the problem, but now the vaccine is the main headline. So now that's the new manufactured problem. So then they'll move to something else eventually.
Right. I get it.
So do what you feel is right on that front.
Do you feel any like nanotechnology or anything negative energies around certain vaccines more than others? I mean, I'm not a vaccine person. I don't take them unless I absolutely have to, but
Well,
not really.
none of them feel good.
Huh?
None of them are any good, really.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They're all equal in badness. So
In one way or another.
so choose the one that you feel would work best for you if you have to.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's all poison basically, and they know it. So it's all about money on their end. Once again, nothing new there.
Right.
But they have no war, so now it's a war on the people.
Yes. So we're the guinea pigs.
Yes.
As
And
always, it's just more of
well,
overt.
until they're ready to change that.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Blessings to you.
Mercury, with Tristan, you were talking about gold, but I had a question. I collect silver, and I was wanting to know if that's worth collecting in the future. And I know timelines can change, but it is. It will like grow the value, and plus, if something bad happened, like the government and everything shut down, all your money's in the bank, you can't do nothing. You can use it as buy stuff.
We don't feel like that's going to happen. It's just timelines that are trying to be manufactured. But you can use it. It will gain wealth, and you can sell it when you need to. So it's a good investment overall.
Okay, good. Because I do buy a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And one more question. I have a friend. The only friend I have is Kevin O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually don't trust people. But I trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he good for me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
seems to be if you're friends with him, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
On the spiritual level, he might not be fully open, but it seems like he's good overall.
Okay, thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
I was actually going to pipe up about, I was saying this in the chat, but when we're talking about the vaccine, we're also able to take the vaccine. What I say is like we can, our bodies can handle it. It's just throwing one more thing at it that it'll be a different experience. So that those that, it's like it's not going to kill us. It's just one more thing that they can throw at us that will go, okay, now I'll live through that and experience that part, and then go, okay, get over that. Is that right?
Well, yes, it doesn't have the best energy around it, but it does have. It's not. It's anytime the government wants to do something to its people, it's probably not the best. It doesn't always. It doesn't have the best intention.
Spoken by Mercury. Thank you.
If your government cares about your health, I would worry about your health. Because it has nothing else to do. The government's kind of losing its purpose anyway. So this is giving it purpose. People are allowing it to give it because people are afraid and all that. They need someone to save them. And that's something that humanity is going to have to learn. But you don't need someone to save you.
You don't need
And it's been trying to save everybody and ruining everything for everyone instead. So eventually people are going to look at back in time and say, what were we thinking?
I see it very much as the church kind of saying, well, you need to go through us to be in touch with your God. It's like, no, we're here. And so this is the same thing. It's like, oh, there's this disease. Now I can take the vaccine and I won't get the disease. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, people believe the government works for them, but has it really worked for people? Not really.
Well, I'm Canadian, so it looks a little better here than it does down there.
But a little bit better,
yeah.
Government on your planet is never there for the people usually. For the wealthy people, yes. But for everyone else, no. Even for the wealthy people, they actually get them, but that's a long story.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, hello. So in late, I think 2019, I started having trouble breathing. Did I get an early version of the virus?
Yes. Yeah, you were checking it out, it seems, on an astral level. Yeah, you can bring the virus to yourself, yes. Not everybody can do that. But I believe you got rid of it too. But you want to experience some of it.
Well, I think I still get the symptoms like every now and then, but it seems like getting it's like less and less. So am I getting like immune to it or whatever, or used to it?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, you're getting certain levels of it because certain parts of it, because it's adapting, it's mutating, so you connect to the mutation every now and then. Not the full version of it, but yes.
Oh, is it? Do people that get it, are they getting like upgrades to their body?
Depends. Some people that survive it, yes. Um, it's life lessons for a lot of people. So I guess you can call that an upgrade. For you, it's an upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I was told because I think, or I have a hunch that's like it's a way for people to leave if they want to leave or just stay and stay stronger.
Yes, correct. But for you, I feel like you do get upgrades from it because you connect to it differently. Other people connect to it from a victim mentality from it, and they connect to the consciousness of it. Yes, it affects the breathing. A lot of it's not pretty.
Oh, I wanted to ask about my Archangel lifetimes in Mercury. Is that interesting, or was that like a humanoid type, or what I do?
Yeah, humanoid. Let's see here. You're larger than life. You're basically, you can say, worshipped to a degree. Maybe not like here, but you were looked upon as because you had morals and you had, not that you don't have them here, but it just many looked upon you, for their own lives, like they do here. They try to better themselves, so they look to you to better. I believe there was a large statue. I feel like you're bigger in life, so I feel like there was a statue. So a large one, and just basically, you gave yourself to others, and so it helps a lot of Mercury beings, take your advice. So a lot of lessons here are on other planets. Just because you're high vibration doesn't mean you can't have lessons here. Same as here.
I mean, I was told I was worshipped as a like being similar to Ra, like sun being, but I got the impression that it's kind of a psychotic lifetime, or maybe sun beings are psychotic. Is that why I'm more connected to like a water?
Yeah, on a different world, yes. Oh yeah, you've been worshipped many times. Oh, the reptilian energy also. For the time, that was necessary. I mean, it did bring the better of others. Yes.
I was told I was also connected to the like a golden beetle. Is that related to that lifetime?
Yes. Right. And that's the golden beetle is also connected to the Anunnaki.
Oh, well, what's the difference between like the beetle or a spider energy?
It has different agendas. The spider web is like your reality, like its own matrix. The beetle is more surviving the matrix, surviving it, experiencing, explosions, like surviving explosions, surviving life, more like that. But that's the short version of it.
Mercury, I had another question. My mother's father, his name was Kelly, passed away when she was 12, and she's kind of psychic as like I am, but she doesn't feel any presence from him or anything. Do you know where he's at, or
he's in the higher realms? He doesn't feel like he's around when he needs to be. She seems to be always scanning for his energy every now and then, but he feels like she doesn't need him so much. He shows up when he needs to. I mean, if his energy was around all the time, it'd be like too much of a good thing.
Okay.
So, but he is there. So she just feels like she needs to scan everybody or scan. It just, but he's there. He just keeps his energy quiet. You know, he's there when she needs him. So,
Okay. Thank you. Blessings.
blessings.
I had a personal question. Just recently we had like a kind of like a moving of wasps trying to come in and move into our house and dig in there. So I'm going to see if there's like something energetically that they're attracted to that's bringing them in. And that needs to be brought to our awareness at this moment.
No, they just feel safe there. They're just connected to your collective energy. They're just, I mean, you can move them out if they're unwanted. They'll survive. It's just that they're some of your father's energies seems like they're attracted to.
All right, that makes sense.
So yeah, he's not doing himself any favors, it seems.
All right.
So he's used to an audience, you could say.
Huh.
So
I guess my higher self have a lot in common.
exactly. So having wasps come to him, you know. Well, he has a lot of Greek lifetimes. I believe he's had lifetimes in Sparta, actually.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, he loves war. He watches it for entertainment whenever he's bored. All right, well, thank you for that. Blessings. I believe CC had a question. She raised her hand.
Hi, Mercury.
Greetings, yes, greetings.
Hi, I was wondering if I had a lifetime on your planet.
Yes, several. It was. Yes, go ahead.
I was just wondering what any of them were about or anything specific.
I mean, they were at a higher vibration. I believe you were somewhere to like a spiritual teacher. Yes, you don't have. You're at your highest level of health. But you're there to keep the vibrations of the planet or most of yourself. You had a lot of children there too, it seems. But you're also very influential during that time. So they had several lives. They're not showing how many lifetimes, but there were several, if I can feel. They weren't very long. They were short. Like, well, on your world it'd be like 30 years, but there would be more like 400 years. Or 300. But they went pretty fast, from what I can see.
Thank you very much.
Yes, blessings.
And I'd like to know a little bit more about my connections with Mercury.
Oh, moment. Well, I mean, as a warrior, I don't. Your warrior lifetimes. I don't believe you saw the world as any of that significant. Not worth taking over. Not worth your time. But on a peaceful level, as for incarnations, yes, you're a philosopher, a mentor. A mentor is similar to like a Plato to some degree, maybe not with all the fame and fortune. You don't need that. But you brought a lot of your insight to those that needed it. So I believe you had a philosopher lifetimes what I see there. But it's funny, I only see one lifetime there. I imagine you had more, but the one is showing itself the most.
It seems like you're keeping a surprise.
No.
All right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I do like to, use my mind to think, theorize about different philosophies and things like that.
Yeah. And you brought that to the Mercury people. And to help them through a lot of their own inner turmoils. I mean, they didn't have the problems of this planet. They're already at a fourth dimensional level at that time. So, but still, even at the fourth dimension, you still have a lot to figure out.
Are there any issues that are currently in the civilization there that are reflected here on Earth that we're going through? You know how they say that there's like a master class of all the universe's problems.
Well, yes, that's true. It has some Mercury beings are obsessed with those with looks, same as your world. Like they look all flashy and like entertainers. Similar to Mercury, still has that issue of healing, that aspect.
So the communication makes it easy for them to get in front of crowds.
Yeah.
And then I guess the Venus influence with a fixation on looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mercury beings aren't always the most attractive beings. But then you mix it with a Venus being that many of them are on Mercury. So beings feel like they can go to Mercury and manipulate society just like they do here. Maybe not to this extent, but they can. Of course, eventually it gets rooted out, but there's a lot of philosophers on Mercury.
I see. Very cool.
So that's one of the problems that Mercury is allowing to reveal right now.
Interesting.
A lot of our other problems are still Earth problems that humanity hasn't evolved with yet. So not everything's going to be, disclosed here.
Yeah, it's kind of like that lesson: all that glitters is not gold.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Blessings.
Cece or James, y'all have your hands up.
Oh, go ahead, Cece.
I have a question if nobody else does.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, my mom's mother, True, she passed away, and my mom feels her presence at night.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me more about her? Is she in reincarnated or is she in spirit?
No, your grandmother's mother is healing your mother's vibration. A lot has to do with why your mother is very active. It's kind of like her mother is like reliving her life through your mother. So a lot of it's just that your grandmother's energy just feels like she can be more of herself in this time. So that's why your mom feels her energy on. It's like your grandmother would rather be part of this time than her time. I mean, it's not easy, but at least you're a little bit more. People are more open than they were during her time. Of course, there's there's a lot of progress in it.
But she's not a ghost, right? She's a good.
No, she's in spirit. She's in spirit.
Good.
It might feel like a ghost because her energy is so strong. So, but she's not a ghost. No.
And something that disappointed me is I was told when I was young that my grandmother was half Cherokee Indian, and now they're saying she's not. Could you clear that up?
I believe there is some Cherokee there. I mean, who was saying she wasn't Cherokee? Like your family?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because they don't believe it. I don't believe there's a way of proving it. Either way, but I believe she was Cherokee, though.
Yeah, she's supposed to be half Cherokee.
Yeah. She hasn't. Mm-hmm. It's just not. It's just those type of things are difficult to. Everybody wants proof in your reality.
Well, some of my family members they did the Ancestry.com, and there was no Native American.
Well, yeah, because they don't have a lot of Native American in there anyway. They're going to keep that out of there anyway. I mean, they might have some, but yeah, Ancestry.com, all those are not the best. I would say none of them are any good, actually.
Okay.
It's worth a shot. It's worth looking at what they have if you want to. But don't, realize you can expand upon it with your own intuition.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Blessings.
Blessings.
I did the same thing when I went through Ancestry. I was looking for paperwork of my Native American DNA or anything that would link me back to the Native American. My family's mainly from North Carolina, and I had a grandmother that was said to be full-blooded Saxapaw Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me anything about that one? I think her name was Dora.
Well, she had some. She's not full Cherokee, but she had a lot of it. So she might have experienced more of the Cherokee, but she had a great deal of the DNA. Yes, so you do have that. But of
Okay,
course,
so
they weren't keeping records and stuff, though.
no, it was frowned upon at that point in time. But does that explain when I go into to the to the Cherokee Mountains that I get this great sense of peace?
Yes.
It is channeling through that energy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's like you
Okay.
are the mountain. You are one with the mountain, one with the land. Yes. And that's the Pleiadian connection with the Native Americans to connect to the earth. So
What about the fairy as well?
the fairy, definitely. Yeah. I feel like the Pleiadian kind of enhanced. Well, you say the fairy and the Pleiadian are very interconnected. So yeah, and that's why, of course, that's why the Native Americans. One of the reasons why they were wiped out because of their connection to the land. And similar to what's going on in Africa also.
Okay, how about the dragon? How does the dragon come in?
There's some of that. Yeah, it feels like you're more connected. It's basically part of your stubbornness, strength, of your psychic, mostly protection.
Okay. Was that during the fairy lifetimes as well?
Oh yes, of course. Well, as a fairy, you battled a lot of dragons also, and some of those dragons are now politicians in your reality.
What about the black one that shows up at my house?
That one's keeping an eye on you. That one seems to be sometimes okay and sometimes not. Seems to be like a neutral energy there sometimes. So he's just checking you out. He's not really saying what he's doing there.
Thank you very much.
Talking about ancestry, I have Russian Jew in mine, and there was something that I found in I haven't looked into it, but in Ottawa there were records about something that my grandfather, who was in Denmark, had something to do with over here it's in Ottawa, it's in Canada, which I have no connection with my grandfather or that side. Do you feel anything that about it's like some kind of document or something? Does that give you any idea, or is that just I should just do the work and find out what it is?
Well, if you want to, I mean, if you feel like there's no motivation to do it, you don't really need to. You can get into it spiritually, intuitively.
Okay.
I mean, if you feel like there's no motivation to look into it, then don't worry about it.
Okay.
I don't believe it's going to add to your life in any way.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's already working with you, so you don't need a physical proof of anything. I can see.
Right. Okay. Good. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's just some people need the physical. That's why they go through Ancestry.com and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but the physical realm, as you know, has a lot of manipulations. Of course, spiritual does too, but spiritual can be more accurate as you connect more to it.
Well, what I like now, just the idea that just I realize is that they were talking about the history of Jesus dying on the cross rather than living and having kids, and how planting the history after the fact can actually make the history be a fact. So it goes backwards as well as forwards.
Right.
Like we can actually create our history. So I thought that was pretty darn cool.
Yeah, there's agendas, of course. Well, because they have to create a fantasy around Christianity. So, yeah, for people, and it worked, obviously. Well, it's Babylonian energies resurrected. It worked in Babylon, it can work here in the dead. So. of course, then it gets stale and it starts to fall apart, but they don't really care apparently. The deal has been done.
Do anything. do it. They're flogging all the dead horses anyway. So.
Well, they expect that humans are. I mean, the religion is lazy, but so are humans are lazy too. So you have two lazy groups that are. Those that are not lazy create their own religion, or get out of religion altogether. Yeah, being lazy isn't what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, yeah. That's
in some respects.
Well, going with the flow is good.
Yes, well, it's
being
just,
in moment, yes.
well, there's nothing wrong with being lazy as long as you don't sell your soul to somebody. As many as you sell it to religion, as you're probably saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So, that's nice.
That's.
Yes, Mercury, I have one more question for tonight.
Please.
I was in the SSP. I can't remember what age. I did a 50-year and back. I was thinking about doing it again because this world's so boring. But to do something good, like to help, be in clone bodies and go and attack these people in our world that are taking children, doing what they're doing, human trafficking, because they do that. And I was thinking about doing that because I'm used to, I've been all over the planets. So usually when they do take people and they have problems when they take people in SSP, but I agreed to it. Would you see that something possible?
Yes, definitely. I feel like your energy has already been linked to it already. So that for that idea to connect with you means that I believe you already agreed upon it before you thought you agreed upon it. So, like on an astral level, you already agreed upon it. So your physical self is catching up on it.
Okay.
So yeah, just go about it how you feel what an SSP life would be. I believe it is more positive this time.
And
you're more control of yourself.
I've asked questions about my SSP, and they just said that I was a border control. But was I in like a suit, or was I in like a humongous clone body, or what?
Yes, there was. I mean, sometimes you pose as a reptilian. Sometimes you pose as different beings. So, and there's some grays that you were healing too. It seems you were working with to heal their darkness. It seems.
But I was on the good side, and they did treat me good, correct?
Right.
Because usually when you like, what is it, like involuntary, they treat you better. But when they just take people that have psychic gifts, they have to go through a lot of Hades. Right. I'm trying to say it correctly. But yeah, I would love to help these children and stuff like that, because I just feel like a soldier, like my lifetimes. Maybe if you could tell me if a lot of my lifetimes have been in war. I don't know, but it just feels like that.
Well, a lot of your lifetimes have been in space.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So reconnecting to that. So technically, you're a secret space program. Just remember your space lifetimes.
I'm trying.
Oh, open up gradually.
All right. Thank you, Blake.
Hey, so there's a lot of human traffickers in the military, though, right?
Yes. Yes, we can say your military is a human trafficking unit.
Oh, I want to ask about like music, like heavy metal music with like electric guitars. Like, I'm working on one, and you tell me the energies of that, and that type of music in general.
Well, it seems like it's Palladian energy that you're bringing in. Some fairy Palladian in Arcturian, it seems. It's healing the heart chakra.
Oh, it sounds like some '90s music I used to like. I was told that the '90s was like more Pleiadian. Is it? Are we going into like this decade is going to be like kind of Pleiadian as well?
Yes. Well, you're going into more of an Arcturian reality, actually, where more spirituality is accepted instead of ignored.
I'd like to ask one last question.
Yes.
It's just feeling like life has become more like a job than anything. You know, just feeling like I'm on a mission here. And I'd like life to feel more like an adventure going forward. Do you have any messages on that? How you see things kind of working for me?
Well, right. Well, because you're dealing with your higher self energy, that's not helping. So that's like another load. But yes, you will find things in your daily life that will bring you more happiness in your work life. It just, if you are traveling more, you feel more alive. You're just stagnant right now. You're not able to move around, so it does feel like a job. So eventually you'll change that direction over time. So moving around will make things better. Maybe not traveling so far just yet.
Yeah, I was looking at nature trails and thinking about maybe adopting a dog to give me a reason to go on these nature walks and things like that.
Yeah, there you go. Something a little bit different.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yes, I believe we have to close out soon.
Thank you again.
Yes. Blessings to you from Mercury. Yes, our energies are with you. Yeah, we can't solve all the world's problems, but we're solving our own problems by being here. So, you all energies. Blessings to you.